Hi guys, good afternoon. We'll probably start then, and then meanwhile people can also join in. So good afternoon, everybody. Once again, thanks for joining in. And so we'll the structure of the webinar will be like first we'll have a quick walkthrough about why having an ESOP management platform is required in today's world in 2024. Why is it essential in the first place? Followed by we'll give you a walkthrough about Vega Equity. And happy to answer any questions that you would have about this space, about ESOPs in general, about an ESOP management platform, or our platform in general, right? So I would like to welcome the host for today's webinar. He's Manish Panwar. He's the business head at Vega Equity. He's a chartered accountant by profession, and he has more than 9 years of experience in this space. He's worked for unicorns and startups like FarEye, Blue Dart, and Delivery, right? And he has been managing ESOPs for managing and planning ESOPs for quite some time now. So he will be taking us through the session. So I would like to welcome Manish Panwar.
Thank you so much, Nikhil. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I hope I am clearly audible and visible. Thank you once again for joining in, giving out your time on Wednesday afternoon. It's nice seeing a great traction here, right? So as discussed, the agenda is very clear here. Like we are listening about the word ESOPs or the stock option schemes, organizations earlier like startups, and then now conventional and listed entities also started launching stock option plan for their employees, for their workforce, through one or the other means, right? And there are a lot of measures to measure the success, or maybe whether it's working fine or not, or whether for what purpose we have launched it in our organization, that purpose is getting solved or not, right? So I'll start a step from a previous stage or a step back before jumping on to directly like what is equity management platforms and why we require it, how it works and all. I believe and I expect like the audience, we all maybe are in two stages. Either the first stage is like we do not have a stock option plan or a stock option scheme for our organization at all. And the second one is like we have a stock option scheme, we have a ESOP scheme for our organization or company or for our employees, and we have already rolled out certain stock units or ESOP units to our employees under our ESOP schemes or various vesting schedules and various conditions. But everything what we are having today, we are managing it through some manual sources, through some spreadsheets, and doing a repetitive tasks and all, right? Before going ahead, I would like to focus like why you have seen like over the last 1 decade this topic or maybe this option of employee reward or loyalty bonuses or maybe employee wealth creation, right? So ESOPs has played a very important role in Indian startup history, or maybe even now it's working effectively for many conventional and listed entities as well, right? So we all have understood over the years like why companies are launching more and more stock option units or stock option plan for their new or the existing workforces. Now I'll quickly jump onto the scenario. For example, if you do not have a plan itself, right? So we have to create a ESOP plan, we have to discuss it with the management and the decision makers, how it will impact our existing and the new workforce, right? What benefits we can pass on. On the other hand, if you already have a plan, maybe we have not started rolling out ESOPs or started granting ESOPs to our employees, or maybe we have already granted them, but today if someone asks us, maybe the management, maybe the board, maybe the investors, or maybe even the employee itself, right? So we do not have a ready-made data, or we do not have a ready-made information where we stand today. How does our pool looks like today? Like what was my original pool? How much I have already utilized from that? How much we have used that thing and all, right? So for all those answers, there is a requirement. And then ESOPs in the equity is a need of the hour, right? More, as I told, every startups we find today, either they have already existing plan, or either they are planning to launch a new or amending their existing stock option plan, whether ESOPs or RSU or Phantom or any other stock option you talk about, right? So organization of late have realized that it's the right time and the right kind of a benefit and the engagement tool or a motivation tool which we can roll out for our employees, right? I'll just quickly run through, like, when we have ESOPs and when we are currently managing it, maybe through one or the other measures, which is not a automation, but maybe through a Excel or a spreadsheet file, though our data is already up to date and correct, right? But still there are a lot of challenges which as an organization as a whole we have to face and we are facing, but those challenges maybe today are hidden and not visible and not very recurringly appearing on front of us or in front of the management, right? So organization are managing it on the Excel rather than on a maybe a automated tools or a platform. And like we are thinking, okay, we only have 10 employees, we only have 50 employees, we only have 100 stock option people. So why we require a tool like this, right? And they keep on skipping that. But there are multiple stakeholders who are associated with your entire stock option plans, which can be from the finance back, which can be from your company secretary team, which can be from your HR function. It can be a stakeholder like your employee or a founders or the management itself, right? So every different stakeholder will always have a different requirement, will always have a different ask, and they would be seeing and they would like to see these kind of information or these kind of numbers in a different lenses or through a different angle, right? Now, if we already have the plan or if we already have rolled out those ESOPs in our organization, we must be seeing challenges. I call out how, like, I used to manage ESOPs for around 3,500 employees in a plain Excel file, which has the data for last 6 or 7 years at that time, right? And every 15 days, a lot of new employees are joining, a lot of existing employees are leaving, right, between their vesting periods. A lot of changes through management or the board approvals are happening in the existing grant. Like, I'll give you some examples. I have 100 ESOP holders. I have a fixed grant date. I had a fixed vesting schedule, but 20 or 25 of them leave in between the vesting period and all have a different last working date. So I have to go and calculate manually, okay, what is the last working date of all those employees, and by that date how many options got vested. So the balance unvested option I can go and manually calculate, and then I can forfeit it or lapse it, and then I have to manually add back it to the. On the other hand, when some senior or an important person is joining or maybe leaving, then we may receive certain exceptional approval from the board or from the management, maybe in form of accelerated vesting, maybe in form of giving a different vesting schedule to that CXO or that new hire other than our plain vesting schedule. So then we again have to do all the calculation manually, spend the same amount of time on that one employee, and then repeatedly multiplying it by the 100 employees. What will be the impact on the total, my profit and loss statement, my balance sheets, my other reports, my compliance reports and all, right? So these are repetitive tasks. It's not a one-time thing for the organization, because every month there will be few employees who will be leaving in case we are a large organization, even if not, but we do not know when the employee will put on papers and will leave the organization. There are many conditions in our plan which is mentioned, like what if the employee is leaving the organization by mere putting a resignation? What if employee is leaving as a termination with cause or without cause? What if in case of a death or a permanent disability? So in our stock option scheme, there are various way outs that are mentioned and that are added in our policy. Okay, what will happen if my employee is leaving by a plain resignation? What will happen if my employee is leaving by giving no notice, so we are terminating him or her with a cause or without a cause, right? So my stock option policy is mentioning all those scenarios. So I have to go again and manually check all those criteria, all those functions in my policy, and then do those adjustments manually. Again, I am investing same amount of time on a single line item, right? And these challenges, if I have to count, it will keep on adding and adding, right? So there are a lot of manual challenges or time taking at the time of policy creation, at the time of when you are granting, right? When the employees have vested options, they have to exercise and convert their options into equity shares. And at the time of finally when they have to liquidate it, right? So there are a lot of employee communication, lot of employee awareness which the organization need to ensure that employees are aware and employees know what we have got, what are the do's and don'ts, what will be our cash outflows, what will be our liability in form of taxes, and what will be our liability and what are the do's and don'ts, right? So everything we have to be very careful, because if we are not informing or awareing our employees, so this will be a misinformation or a incomplete information. So maybe our success from the policy will not be achieved as we have desired, right? To tackle all these problems, to tackle all these challenges for your finance team, for your HR function, for your management, for the ESOP controllers in the organization, and ultimately for your most important stakeholder, which is your employee, there exists an equity management platform or ESOP management platform which helps organizations and the stakeholders on a real-time basis. It provides you all the updated numbers, all the matrices, all the calculations, be it your compliance report, be it your ESOP related reports or stock option related disclosures, be it the matrices in terms of grant versus vesting versus unvesting, and any other. As an employee, if I have to know what will happen after 3 months to my ESOPs, what will happen after 6 months to my unvested options or vested options, right? I have a dashboard wherein I can go and log in and I can get answers of all my queries, right? Though there are a lot of platform, or maybe there are kind of automation which we call automation, they may exist or they may exist in our ecosystem, right? For example, there are platforms available which will automate your human task or a manual task into a automated way. For example, I am granting it manually, it will grant from the platform. I am taking approvals manually, it will have a bulk upload systems. I am calculating numbers maybe on a Excel formulas basis, certain algorithms, it will automatically do those calculations for me, right? But it comes with again challenges, because we have to train the platform, we have to train a new system or a new portals basis our organization's internal SOPs and policies. It may be time consuming, it may be very expensive to have a customized solution basis our own policies and basis our own requirements, right? And to adopt a new platform, just like we download a new mobile app, we have to spend a lot of time on that app to understand its features, its pros and cons, and what facility it can provide, what are the help which I can get from this new app. Similarly, a new platform requires a lot of training for a new users who are implementing it from both the angles, organization as well as employees, right? So there will always exist some challenges with the platforms. What should be done and how a platform should not just automate but also help you in having a right kind of a decision making, having a ready-made information available, and telling you on a time to time, on a frequent intervals, what should be done. Maybe you have launched a policy 3 years back, but that policy is not helping you out in controlling the attritions. Your employees attrition is still increasing or still at the same level as it was 3 years back, right? So it should give those kind of analytics to us as well, right? Also, when I have automated this system, there should be not a single task or not a single workflow for which I have to again go back to my email box, again go back and check my Excel files or spreadsheet file on my laptop, or again pick up my mobile phone and dial a number to some of my subordinates and my team members to get that data, to get that report done for me. So I am not, either my platform is not well equipped, or either I'm not utilizing maximum out of my platform, right? To cater all those things, if we have to talk on like ideal platform or an ideal automation, what all it should cover, or maybe what all it should provide, I'll very summarizing in a very summary manner, I'll broadly highlight 5 or 10 areas. If those are available, maybe our life is becoming more and more easier. I'll count it on fingers and then I'll definitely give you a walkthrough as well. it should allow me, I'll just count on fingers all the pointers. Like first, it should allow me to create and design any kind of a ESOP plan. It should allow me to amend or modify my existing ESOP schemes, because these are recurring activities in the organization. So I should not be dependent on any third party or the software developer or the vendor who will do it from a back end for my team or my organization within next 10 days or 15 days. It should be quick. It should be 20-25 seconds after I have decided to amend or change that policy. It should have availability to update, add, modify my ESOP pool, because I have added a pool 5 years back, 3 years back, 2 years back. Today I may need to add a new pool, I may need to modify the existing pool. Third, if I'm an unlisted organization, I am getting my valuation reports and I'm getting my valuations done every now and then, like every 6 months, from the registered valuers or the merchant bankers for the ESOP purposes or the stock option purposes. So whenever I am updating my, when I'm getting a new signed valuation report from my valuer, the platform should have that capability or feature enough to have that more added or have that updated immediately, again within 15 to 20 seconds, without depending on anyone else. If I'm a listed entity, it should have updated my share prices on a real-time basis through National Stock Exchange and Bombay Stock Exchange, right? Wherever we are listed. In the industry or maybe in the universe, there exists, say for example, 1 lakh different kind of a vesting schedules, time-based vestings, performance-based vesting, and maybe condition-based vestings and all. So the platform should be equipped enough to create 2 lakh different kind of a vesting schedule or 3 lakh different kind of a vesting schedule, whatever we are thinking, whatever we are doing an imagination of that, right? What if my cliff period is not 12 months but 18 months, and my vesting period is not 4 years but 10 years, and I will not have an annual vesting, I will have a monthly vesting for some CXO level people, and I'll have a quarterly and a semi-annual vesting for some mid-level and a junior level workforce in my organization. So all those things, though by listening to these areas or configuration, we may have a thought, okay, these are just one time or an ad hoc activity. But believe me, we have seen these trends and these surveys for more than 200 organizations, and we are telling it with very confidence, like these are the things which restricts any organization or any stakeholders to go digital or to opt for a platform. They think, yeah, on an Excel I can change anything. Maybe it is taking 5 hours, but whenever I have to make a change, I can make a change on my own. I am not to be dependent on a third party or a vendor. So if my platform is not just automating my manual task, but also helping me in modifying and editing and adding a new features, new updates to my policy, pool, vesting schedule, share prices, vesting condition, exercise periods, and everything else. And on top of it, I am able to make a digital grant via to a single employee or to 1000 employees at the same time, with a processing time of 5 to 10 seconds only. And if at the same time all my employees or all my recipients of the stock option are able to receive a digital grant letter wherein they can see and read all the terms and conditions digitally on their platform or the portal, and they can accept the digital grant letter via e-signing or digital signing, right? So my task, which currently I am getting it completed in 15 or 20 days time, since the day I started rolling out ESOPs to my employee, and the day I end up getting signed grant letters for my record or audit purposes, it's end up having 15 or 20 days of time period. I can do that in 15 seconds, right? And after that, my employee have any single query, so what is ESOP, how many, what is value of my ESOPs, what is my share price, what is my vesting schedule, after 3 months how many vesting will happen, if I leave today or if I leave after 5 years, how many options will be vested or forfeited for me, what is the value on table for me through ESOPs as on today's date, and after 3 years or 4 years if I stay in the company for next 3-4 years, right? What if I have to exercise today all my vested options, so how many options I can exercise, what will be my perquisite tax liability, what will be my exercise price, how I can pay digitally on the platform without reaching out to my finance team or HR team for the calculations, right? And if the organization have to run exercise window, how they can complete the entire exercise flow in next 50 to 60 seconds from one side, right? So all these are the answers to the queries in general which we have received, right? So Now I'll switch to the platform and I'll just give you a summary level walkthrough of our platform as well. Before that, I would love to share that we have kept a separate 15 or 20-minute session in the end, wherein we will be taking all the queries, all the question and answers from the audiences. You may have some doubts, you may have some queries, which we will be taking. Also, you can start putting your queries or your questions in the chat box so that we can pick if we are missing some of the current questions and queries. We will be sharing a detailed information of all the discussions. If some people have joined a bit late, maybe 5 or 10 minutes after the webinar has started, so we will be sharing all the summary and all the notes of the to all the recipients here. Right now, as a platform, as I mentioned, right, though I'll not be spending much time on a detailed walk through like how it works and all, but what I want to highlight, what I want to show here with my previous discussion, right? So as an organization, when we think, okay, now it's enough time, we are managing everything on Excel or a spreadsheet, let us start evaluate certain portal or a certain platform which can help me or which can solve my current challenges, right? I have X number of people in my team, whether in HR or finance team. They have their own KRAs, they have loaded with the bundled activities, but yet sometimes some of the management and some of the HODs or some of the stakeholders in the organization need updated data. And every time my team member or I personally, we are spending same amount of time on a repeated activity for a same number of employees. So even on a weekly basis, if I'm spending 2 to 3 hours or 1 hour on a fortnight basis or on a monthly basis, I am repeatedly doing those things. So what if something is available to whom I can ask anything and it will just answer me, right? So this is, for example, as an organization, when you use a platform, you have a organization-wide dashboards available. You have various key matrices view. We have various compliance reports, finance or HR reports. You have a separate dashboard for all your employees, wherein your employees can log in and see and get the answers of all their queries. And apart from which, each and every workflow, right from the stage where you have launched your ESOP scheme till the stage all your ESOPs granted are 100% vested and exercised and liquidated and converted into equity shares, right? So each and every workflow should be available. Now you can see on my screen. So I've just covered, as you see, what is your actual pool size in the company. As on today, on 28th of August, if we ask certain matrices from any one of you, if we have to ask you like how many employees have ESOPs in the organization, like 100, 200, 50, 70, maybe you given ESOPs to 300 employees in past, but as of now only 100 are active and balance 200 has left the organization, right? So the platform will be able to answer on a real-time basis what was your ESOP pool. Out of this pool, how many options you have already granted till 28th of August. Out of this total grant, how many options has been accepted by your employees. How many options are pending, like your employees have received the ESOP but they have not given a digital confirmation or they have not accepted the grant, right? After the grant has been accepted, now basis your ESOP scheme or ESOP vesting schedule, as on today's date, how many options are vested in the organization, how many options are still unvested in the organization. When someone leaves the organization between the vesting period, how many options has been lapsed. So it will automatically calculate, okay, 2500 options are lapsed and they have already added back to your balance ESOP pool, right? I split between your vested versus unvested and lapsed, right? Now, as an organization or a ESOP controller in our organization, we have a number of different tasks. So we come onto the platform just to be updated and just to be on top of our matrices and number, and for the purpose for which we have logged in, right? Now, when you log in, you should be able to know in case there are any action which are to be taken by you, maybe certain approvals, maybe certain actions, maybe certain acceptance you have to take and you have to confirm, and that are pending at your end. So the dashboard should be able to answer, okay, how many grants which you have made that are not accepted by the users or employees, how many exercise requests which your employees has requested to the organization but you have not given the approvals, right? So any pending task, any pending actions at the end of the organization, that will come here as a part of the summary, so that you can just simply click and close those actions immediately, right, without even visiting to the separate pages. Now, as a first time user or as a new person to this all functions, right, so the platform, all the matrices will be self-explanatory in a way, like you hover on any particular KPI or card, it will show you like what is the logic behind this metric, how this metric has been calculated, how this number has been derived, right? Still you want a breakup or a drill down view, because 28,000 options are vested for my organization, but I want to see a drill down view, like how this has been calculated. So I can simply click on it. I see a detailed employee wise breakup. Okay, 28,000 options have a drill down view of these employees who received ESOPs on so and so date under this vesting schedule, under this ESOP policy, and this is how their options has been vested on different vesting date. And similar view will be available for all the other matrices. You have a detailed drill down report of your grant, vested, unvested matrix, lapse report, exercised, surrendered, buyback, everything. Also, you can put a time filter as well. This is by default coming as a YTD basis since the beginning, but you want it for a particular month or a quarter or a financial year, right? So you can select that time. Okay, I want it from 1st of April till today's date. So it will give the data for all the matrices for the selected period only, and immediately you can export these reports in an Excel or CSV or a PDF format, right? So any information, any report, any register, any compliance angle, whatever is available is immediately exported on an Excel or a CSV or a PDF format for your further working and analysis, right? So as we have on a report section, you can see on our screen a real-time basis ESOP pool reconciliation, what was our opening pool and now how our ESOP pool looks as on today's date. So how it has been calculated, the logic behind it, right? You are getting this pool reconciliation work on a real-time basis. ESOP expense report, like whenever you are making a grant, basis your FMV or intrinsic value, a ESOP expense need to be calculated, which you will be booking in your profit and loss account, right? So it is available at a FY level, grant financial year level, and a detailed breakup at each employee grant, right? And you can select whether you need this expense at an annual level or a monthly level, whether your calendar year, the period of calculation is a Jan to December or April to March, basis your organization financial years, right? A detailed grant report which includes your ESOP registers, employee-wise grant, accelerated grant reports, exercise, buyback, a different angle to see on all the matrices from a different lenses, right? In case we want to see it at an employee level, at a grant level, at a policy level, at a approval basis, like how has been approved, what has not been approved, everything you can have a drill down, right? On a real-time basis, we are getting all the updated matrices available. At the same time, all your employees in the organization have the access to log in into the portal, wherein they can simply log in via Google single sign-on or a Microsoft account, and they can see their own dashboard, how many ESOPs has been granted to us, what is the current share price out of the granted one, how many ESOPs has been vested, how many ESOPs are unvested, what is the value when we received the ESOP for the very first time, and what is our current ESOP value, what is the appreciation we have got, how many options I can exercise today, in case any options are pending to be accepted. Organization has given me a grant, I can accept it directly from the screen. A digital grant letter will appear and we can accept it via e-signatures, right? And I can get answer to, okay, from the total grant of 77,000, how many options I as an employee has already vested, how many options are unvested, out of this vested option, how many options I have already exercised in past, right? When is my next vesting date is due, how many options will get vested by that date, what will be the total number of options that will vest by that particular date. Like you can check when is the next vesting date coming in, how many options will be vested, and how your unvested option will be vested in future financial years, right? So every view, every single information is available for your employee as well as for the organization, so that not a single action, not a single workflow, not a single task is to be performed manually on a spreadsheet or Excel file, or you have to chase certain people in the organization to find out like what is the update on this report, what is the update on these matrices, right? And on top of it, I'm not taking much time to show everything in detail, but I'm just giving you a top line view, like right from creating your ESOP plan in the portal, to add, update, modify your ESOP pools, to add, update, modify your share prices, right? If you are unlisted, you have option to update your valuation reports in the portal. If you are listed, your options will, the share price will get automatically updated on a real-time basis by getting it integrated with the recognized stock exchange, right? If you can have a n number of vesting schedules created by default, certain vesting schedule will be available. You have an option to select a cliff, a number of period, like what will be your total number of vesting period, what will be your frequency and all, right? And immediately you can create a vesting schedule basis your choice. I'll just give you a quick snap. I'm creating a cliff of 12 months. I'm saying a vesting frequency will be half yearly and the vesting period will be 4 years, right? The moment I click on process, it will give me, this is how your vesting schedule would look like. After 1 year from today, 25% option will get vest. After that, every 6 months, 12.5% option will get vested for the next 3 years, right? In case you change it from 4 year to 3 year and a half yearly to quarterly vesting, immediately you see a different kind of a vesting schedule, right? So all those possibilities are available from the platform itself, so that you need not to have dependent on a particular party or a particular SPOC to get your things done. You can write any logic basis your policy, what will happen to your active employees, your resigned employees, termination with cause, without cause, in case of a death or a permanent disability, what will happen to their vested option, what will happen to their unvested option. Every logic simply you can create here, right? And what does these kind of a platform helps you? They help you in defining, okay, you are having ESOP plan or a manual ESOP workflow from last 4 years, last 6 years. Now you have a question, okay, what if I have a 6-year-old plan, but if I have to go digital today, what will happen to my existing data, which we have calculated? We do not know whether these numbers are coming correct or not, right? So I'll tell you like what these onboarding happens, right? So they onboard your entire historical data themselves and share your detailed reconciliation. Okay, this was in your Excel report or in your spreadsheet, the grant record, the vesting, unvesting exercise record, and this is what the portal is showing. And a detailed reconciliation between every record, like employee wise, grant wise, and a policy level data. Wherever the discrepancies comes in, like they share you a detailed remarks or a query, why this vesting gap is there, why this exercise gap is there. It may be due to some accelerated vesting, it may be due to certain exceptional approval, it may be due to like employee has left but we have accelerated their unvested option as well, and that is why the gap is there, right? And then a detailed trainings at the time of onboarding to your employees, to your controllers and the admin teams. After that, a quarterly training session on a recent updates, on a recent changes in the policies and the structure, or even in the acts or the taxation policies, and accordingly how the platform has changed itself and how you would be using the new features, new workflows that are added, right? You can run an exercise flows basis the new government amended acts. Your taxation, employees taxation on the perquisite income will be calculated automatically in the platform basis the latest amendments and the latest changes in the finance section, so on, right? So in a nutshell, all in total, even if we have 5 employees in our organization, if we have 5,000 employees in our organization and we have a stock option in place, or maybe we are planning to launch a stock options, right? At some point in time, we have to go digital. We have to avoid or leave our manual updates, because today whatever task and amount I have applied on a single task, I'll be applying the same amount of time every week or every fortnight or month. And what if I, as a employee, I am on leave, I am not available for next 15 days or next 1 month? Who is the custodian of that data and of those updated matrices, right? Who will be calculating those reports, who will be calculating those data, and who will be vouching you and giving you insurance? No, everything is correct, you can share it with the respected stakeholders or the investors or the auditors or anyone, right? The system also comes in with the features of the self-audit. So at the time of your internal audit, stat audits, all the information, all the approvals, all the signed grant letters, all the reports, all the numbers, whatever is asked by your IA or statutory auditors or internal auditors, right? Everything is available in your auditor role, right? So the platform will give you different role-based access. One is for your administrator, one is for your employees, one is for your management, and you can also have an auditor access, wherein the auditor will have a right to view and access all the approvals, all the matrices, all the reports, but they cannot take any action. And hence your life is becoming a much easier, right? So if you talk like what size and what type of organization would be preferring to opt for a digital tool, I'll tell you, there are organizations who have only 5 employees and who have just launched ESOPs with a plain 4-year vanilla vesting at 25% annual. They also uses platform or digital platform to manage their entire stock option. There are organizations who have 20,000 workforce and they have ESOP holder like 7,000 or 6,000 ESOP holder of 10 years old and 6-year-old ESOP plan or stock option plan. They also use digital platform just to ease their day-to-day hustles or day-to-day calculation, and they have someone who can ensure like all your matrices are available. Right. Now, yeah, I have hold it on the screen, that's why the screen isn't moving. Yes, can you show the digital signature? How does exercise work? Definitely. The first question comes in, I'll show you on like I was showing in this configuration. You as an organization have the option to update all these things. You can create any kind of a digital grant letter simply by dragging and dropping your Word file or sample Word file in our portal. You can have your e-signatures or signatures. You can upload your e-signatures. You can create a signature like you do in a DocuSign or a Adobe e-signatures. You can create a different kind of signatures on by creating or typing it in the system, or in case you want your actual signatures or image of your signatures that can be used, you can upload it. On our mobile app, you can also draw your signatures on the screen of the your mobile app, right? So these are the options wherein you can save or upload or create your signatures in the system. Once I'll also show once an employee receives a ESOP, right, so they receive those immediate notification on their official email ID through which they are redirected to their own portal, and they see, okay, you have received 100 options at 100 rupees exercise price. The moment employee clicks on accept, within a 5 or 6 seconds of a processing time, the sample grant letter will get created with actual variables like the employee name, the complete grant letter information, the number of options, the date of grant, the exercise price, the vesting schedule, whatever we have selected, and all the terms and conditions, whatever is mentioned on your sample grant letter, right? The moment I click on accept, my e-signatures are already affixed here. And I have accepted this grant is completed. Now, if you see on the employee's dashboard, this 100 option will get updated and the grant has been completed, right? You have made a grant, employee has accepted it via the portal. Now, again, the next question was the exercise flow, right? On the exercise flow, there are 2 ways, right? Either organization can initiate exercise round from their admin access, or if the exercise window is open, maybe in your policy it is written like 1 month, maybe December, April, or 15 days you open exercise window, and in that window the employee can exercise. So on the dashboard, if the window is open, employee can see the option, maximum number of options which they can exercise. So I'll show you how employee can make a request and how organization can run this, right? So I can see on my dashboard 429 options are available to exercise. I can click on it, right? The moment I click on it, it will show me a different tranches or a different tranches of the ESOP that has been granted. So you can see the 449 is a breakup of two different grants. One is 340 available, and from other grant 89 options are available. I can enter, okay, 50 option I will exercise from this grant, and 10 option I will exercise from this grant. So this is my total exercise price payable is calculated immediately, right? And as I scroll down, it will show me 429 options were available to exercise. I have exercised only 60 option. So for 60 option, my exercise payable price payable is 1100. My perquisite income is 4900. As per my tax slab, I have to pay perquisite tax of 980. So my total liability is 1100 plus 980, which is 2080. The moment I click on submit, I have submitted my exercise request. Immediately a notification will go to my admin, right? And they can see my exercise request on the portal on their pending action page. Like Richard Jameson has requested to 60 option exercise. I can approve it or reject this option in case you want that workflow. In case it's an auto approval, you can skip this workflow as well, right? It's a part of configuration. The moment your admin approves it with the remarks, it is not mandatory, you can put it, right? This exercise window will be completed. Now, as a part of your own workflow, you can decide whether we will want a payment workflow as well attached. So employee knows 2080 I need to pay. So at the time of onboarding, you can decide, okay, we also want a payment gateway solution or a payment facility as well, wherein my employee can directly pay from the portal, right? So here you see, like Richard has been requested to pay their 2080 amount, right? Because he has requested to 60 option. So employee will come on the portal, click on pay now and make a payment, and then automatically this will get approved from here. Eh? And at the same time, the exercise workflow can be initiated by the organization as well. By selecting, okay, by what date the option vested should be eligible to the exercise, what will be the valid period, like from today to next 10 days the employee can make a request. I can select a date as well, like how long this exercise period is open, and I can select whether it is available for all the employees or only for active employees or only for alumni, right? So I can select it, the period of exercise, and the moment I click on process, the system will immediately give me the calculation of all the list of eligible employees with their maximum eligible option which they can exercise. So this is the complete list of the employees who are eligible to exercise their vested option by 28th of August, right? And this is the exercisable quantity. Now if I have a limitation on my total option which can be exercised today, I can enter or set a limit here, like maximum 50% can be exercised or maximum 10% can be exercised, right? So automatically this number is getting changed, as you can see on my screen, right? And the moment I click on submit, all the employees will receive the information and a notification like your organization has invited you to accept or to make a request to exercise. Now it's employee's discretion whether they want to exercise or not. Another question which you have received is, how easy is the integration with the HRMS and payroll system? Yeah, so I can show you, like we have a 3-way integration possible. So we recommend every new customer or every new prospect to get integrated first, because you don't have to maintain two different kind of employee master at two different platforms. So our portal is integrable with your internal HRMS as well as any cloud platform which you're using as a HRMS or a payroll system, right? It will fetch all the information from, or the employee master related information for an ESOP on a real-time basis from the system on a daily basis, right? So you can integrate it, whether it's your in-house developed tool or a cloud product, right? Your employee master, employee tax rates, their LWDs, their reason of exit, everything will get synchronized through the API integrations, right? So it's open APIs, REST APIs, or you can have a token APIs connected here. So the architectural or your IT architecture team or our team will get connected at the time of onboarding, and they will make those connections, right? So we recommend to go for integrated way only. Otherwise, you have to maintain a manual employee master here in this pool as well as in your existing HRMS. Next question is from Namrata. Suppose there are different employee class with different option prices. How that gonna have impact on platform? Yes, it can happen, right? So what you can do, or what possible solutions are available. Like there is a concept called multi-entity and a multi-unit and a multi-concept configuration or a setting, wherein in the same platform you can manage multiple entities, multiple stock options like RSU, Phantom, or ESOPs, and the multiple kind of a valuation as well. So for whenever you are making a new grant, the option price, like exercise price, can be different for different people. So you have a bulk uploader, or you have a screen wherein you can make a grant. I'll just show you quickly. This is the grant screen, wherein either you can select single employee one by one and make a grant to them under a selected policy from your pool of policies, under your selected vesting schedule, under your pool of vesting schedule, and the grant date you can enter. Simply you can enter the number of option, exercise price, just in case your vesting is happening in decimal, you can select how it will be adjusted, whether round down or round up approach you will be taking, right? And I can make a submission, and this grant will be made. In case I am selecting multiple employees, right, with different exercise price, different number of option, and different vesting schedule, we have an option called bulk upload, wherein you can download a template. This kind of information you will be uploading, like the employee code, name of the employee, exercise price, different exercise price, different number of options, different policies, and you can simply make that grant available to your employees, right? So from the same portal, from the same system, you can have a different exercise price, different ESOP policies, different vesting schedule, different condition. Like if you're making an ESOP grant to 50 employees at a time, you can make 10 grants with time-based vesting, like 25% annual vesting for 4 years, 10 grants with performance vesting, like if your performance is 5 and above, then 100% will be vested, otherwise not. And you can make the balance grant as a hybrid, like time and a performance link, right? Everyone can have a different policy, different pool, different FMB as well, because the valuation method can be varied and the valuation price can be varied basis different exercise price and basis different vesting schedules, right? So that option is available. It is available from the screen itself, right? Yeah, thank you. Now we are open for questions and queries. Every one of you can ask, how do you manage custom vesting, right? A very great question, right? So I would love to understand from you as well, like what kind of a custom vesting you want to understand and you want to show. I'll explain as well. Like custom vesting, what can it be done? Like the cliff is 12 years, but then we have annual vesting, but the vesting is not happening annually. Maybe after 6 months some percentage is happening, after 3 months certain percentage is happening, and then on the 15th month certain percentage is vesting, right? So in that case, you can create those vesting schedule from the screen itself by entering the dates or the frequency or the number of days with the number of percentages in the system. Can be configured to days instead of months. Yes, absolutely, it can be configured, right? As I shown on my policy. Just a second. Like you have entered a 12-month cliff, you have selected say annual or other frequency type, right? Now number of interval you can select. Okay, I will have a total of 10 intervals, right? Now immediately this will give you an option to create a vesting schedule by entering a different days or months or a particular specific dates on which certain percentage or in which certain portion will get vested, right? So you can create from the system whether it's a time or whether it's a performance link. Yeah, thank you. So I am and we are now open for all the queries, though we are continuously receiving certain queries on the chat box. We can also open the mic and we can ask any queries if we want to discuss any particular thing, any particular workflow, any particular use case which you feel this is very unique and this is very exceptional for our organization. Yes, so you are free to unmute yourself and raise any kind of a query, and maybe you can ask your specific use case which you feel that we have exceptional workflow. How would the platform like this can tackle our workflows? how can we manage performance based options, right? So as I told, like the performance based, you have a different vesting schedules, right? There are two kind of vesting schedule. One is time based, one is a performance based, right? Now in the system should give you flexibility to create a performance conditions as well, right? You can create, you should be creating a performance linked to employee rating, or if it is related to certain criteria based. For example, if organization's EBITDA is 10% and above, the 100% option will be vested, or if your OKRs are 80% and above achieved, your option will be vested and all. So performance can be either a condition based or a criteria based or a rating based, right? So I'll show you a quick example. When in our portal or in the platform you create a performance based criteria, you can create whether it will be linked to rating or certain criteria. If it is linked to rating, for example, it is employee rating. So minimum you should have a 3 rating. For example, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 is highest and 1 is lowest, and maximum rating is 5, right? So 100% option, or like if you are lying between 3 to 4, your 80% option will be vested. Or if you are lying between, if your rating is 5, your 100% option will be vested, right? So this is a performance condition which we have created based on rating. Similarly, we can create it on a criteria. For example, criteria: organization's EBITDA is greater than 10%, then 100% will be achieved. Second criteria is our OKR are achieved more than 75%, then for example 90% will be achieved, right? And similarly we can add on new criteria as well, right? So now these performance criteria we have created or added. Now when I'll be creating a vesting schedule, right, and then I'll tag this performance criteria with when I'll create this performance criteria with my vesting schedule, and at the time of actuals or whenever your any portal or any mechanism you have internally to capture those performance criteria or to measure those criteria, it can be integrated if it is your OKR tool or if it is your numbers which is captured in certain tools. Otherwise, you also have an option to manually update the actuals in the portal. Okay, this is my employee wise rating list, this is my organization's EBITDA, and this is my employee wise OKR achievement percentages, and accordingly it will tag to the employees vesting, right? Yes. Will these ratings can be taken from HRMS automatically? Yes. Like you have a performance module in your HRMS, so we have an integration with your HRMS. So employee wise minimum, maximum, or actual ratings are available. Now we have to decide at the time of creating this grant or this kind of a schedule with the timing. Like for example, I am granting you today on August. So for what period performance criteria I will be taking, and by what date that performance rating would be available in your system. So that all configurations are done at the time of onboarding, right? So this is what I was telling in the beginning as well. Automation or a platform does not mean just my Excel tasks are getting done by a platform automatically. The platform should be able to tackle any exceptional cases, to tackle any new requirements or new industrial changes, as well as give me insights for what I am doing right or what I am not doing right. Maybe my attritions are not getting controlled. Maybe I am missing certain area or certain demography of my organization to avoid giving ESOPs to them every time, right? Maybe I'll just quickly show you an example, right? Maybe I am giving ESOPs to everyone who is joining in my organization, everyone who is completing 5 years in the organization, but every time I'm missing people who have completed 4 years and above in my organization, right? So I'm giving ESOPs to the new people, I'm giving ESOPs to the old people like who have completed 5 years or 10 years, but every time I'm ignoring people who have completed more than 2 years and less than 5 years, right? And then different kind of analysis and decision making should be available, like what is the split, what is the impact on your attritions over the years with the ESOPs or without the ESOPs, what kind of and what portion of population holds what portion of your total ESOPs or total ESOP value, right? And different things, right? So that you at a time can decide after a year, after a month, or after 3 years, right? Okay, how my ESOP plan is performing. If employee exercise more than available, or what mechanism you have for control the same, the system will automatically not allow it, right? I'll show you quickly. All the checks and balances are available in our system. Your ESOPs cannot be granted with a grant date which is lesser than the ESOP policy date. Employees grant date cannot be lesser than the employee's joining date or greater than the employee's leaving date. All those automatic checks and balances are available. Even, sorry, I'm missing, yeah. Even on the maximum number of the question, like you have already only vested 4149 options. You already exercise 3730 options. So as on today's date, you can maximum exercise 429 options, right? In case you enter 430 or 431, the error will come. You will not be able to click on submit button until unless you do for number 439 or lesser than 439. Next question is like a comparison with a competition. I'll tell you, it is not just about the automation and the matrices. It depends on the kind of a post go live support. It depends on like how fast you get onboarded. Like in the whole industry or in the whole world, we commit a fastest onboarding timeline, which is we have onboarded all our customers in just 48 hours of customers giving us a going ahead, right? What kind of a comfort your stakeholders, your employees, and your management is having on the platform, right? Are you able to only see numbers on the platform, which is a static or which is some hard-coded one, or are you able to use it as a DIY system, which is your platforms, your dashboard, your reports, which all are dynamic, wherein you are access with a real-time changes and updates in the system. You can write a query to the chatbot and the chatbot will automatically does all the tasks for you, right? And it's not just, again I'm saying, it's not just automation. It is giving you the third and the fourth arm, right? Wherein you can just keep on editing on a real-time basis. You can make a grant to 1,000 employees in 5 seconds. Your 1,000 employees can accept a digital grant letter in another 5 seconds. Your entire grant round will be completed in 15 to 20 seconds guaranteed on this platform. Your entire exercise flow is completed in 25 seconds from the organization side, right? And the testimony of this will be, if you see some of our logos on the websites, we have certain customers or clients who are migrating and who have migrated from some of the existing platforms. We are very new. We have started in this domain from 2021-22. Platform exists. I'm not saying like they are very long players and all, but yes, they may have a different date of origins, but we have customers who have been using successfully certain existing platforms and then they choose to migrate to our platform because it was not solving some of their requirements of the task. So I'm taking another question. Size or payment, how much time or what control you have? I would like to understand this query, Mr. Ramesh, if you can just elaborate. Like, employee have make an exercise request and the admin has rejected it, or the payment is not happened within the due time. Please unmute. Maybe I will try to unmute. Yes, Mr. Ramesh, can you repeat your query on the exercise flow?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. On exercise, payment is not clear. Sometimes payment done, but rejection. Yeah. On this front, like I'll tell you how the workflow is designed. you make a request to exercise, your admin approves it. The moment he or she approves it, you know the payment notification. Okay, what is my liability? You opt to make a payment. You can opt for an offline payment as well as an online payment. If you are doing an online payment, the payment will be through a payment gateway and credited in the organization's account. If the employee is making offline payment, maybe like he is transferring the amount via his net banking to the organization's account, then you have an option to upload the screenshots, UTR number, transaction ID, and everything. Immediately the employee confirms the payment, you have a new role called finance admin or a payroll admin. You can create that, or you can have that role with you, wherein you can control the or confirm the payments in bulk as well as one by one for all the recipients or the employees who have requested, right? Even you are accepting it in bulk, or even if you are doing it one by one, right, you have the option to cross verify. This will give you automatic reconciliation. These are the requests, these were the payment due, and this was the payment that has been claimed by the employee, right? Even after that, till the time you confirm the payment has hit it in your account, right, via offline or online, you have the final option wherein we have a tab called option conversion, wherein you select all the employees and put a final exercise date. After that action only the options are considered as exercised, otherwise it is not considered. Even if mistakenly done for some of the exceptional cases in the system, you always have an option to reverse that, right, via your admin controls, right? So all the transaction will get entirely reversed, even if by some time by mistake it has happened. Yes, it is integrated with the payment gateway. I would again would love to show appreciation and thank you everyone for being here for the last 1 hour and be attended here, and for all of your queries regarding the platform, regarding the workflows. I hope it was helpful, right? This I will be sharing it one-on-one. I cannot name the payment gateway in public. I'll be sharing it this name, right? We have one of our customers who are the payment gateway partner for us, right? Right. So once again, thank you everyone for being here, for patiently listening to our solution and to our use cases in the case studies. I hope it was a fruitful session for all of you with our management. And just like to confirm, we will be reaching out to all of you individually for all your asked queries, or if for someone we have missed to answer any of the queries, we will be reaching out to you with all the details, whatever we have discussed. We'll be taking your queries one by one as well. After this webinar, we'll be sharing you the glimpses, the FAQs, and the detail of the whole webinar, right? And once again, thank you so much, everyone. Thanks a lot for your time. We'll connect soon and we'll be in touch very soon.